Hey, it's Arcsecond. In this video, I'll cover Diana's strengths and weaknesses, and her champion matchups and interactions. In this list, which we'll link in the description below, I've rated all of her matchups on a scale from 45% to 55%, and anything above 50% is considered favorable for Diana. So starting with Diana's strengths, one of her greatest strengths is her burst damage. So any champion is naturally fairly squishy, which includes most of the mid champions, most of the AD carries. She'll have a good time against. Although the AD champions have great itemization against AP champions right now, and the armor items for APs isn't as good, so a lot of those matchups are harder right now. So a champion like Jayce will give her a hard time. And then some of the AD carries can actually also take advantage of that. So Draven can normally build fairly defensively and still put out a lot of damage. So that matchup's a little bit harder. And Draven can also interrupt Diana. So any champion who can do that swing has a little bit better time against Diana. Something like Syndra, most of the supports can, and some of the tanks. And so most of the supports, especially the tanky ones, give her a hard time. Something like Braum and Lulu. Stuff that can buff out their teammates, prevent that burst damage, interrupt her combo, and then lock her up as well. Give Diana a hard time. And then, but what Diana can do is she can pick and choose what lane she wants to be in. So she can normally pick the matchup that she wants, and she has great dueling potential, so she can get a good matchup. If she's against like Aatrox or Darius or Mundo or anything like that, and just in the side lane, then she'll have a good time, and she can normally out DPS and out trade most of the champions and push them out. And then she pushes waves quickly, and then she pushes tower extremely fast, which is one of her biggest strengths. So she really wants to get to a tower. So anything that she can push out is really good for her. But there's some champions who are naturally really strong duelists, like Fiora and Jax, and so those champions she normally can't push out. And then stuff that can also stop her from pushing is wave clear, but most of the wave clear champions are mid. But there's some globals like GP ult and Ziggs ult, which can stop her from pushing a wave, or if she has a big wave built up, which is pretty hard to deal with. And then globals, other globals like Shen ult is really hard because she'll have a number disadvantage. And then, but one of Diana's other strengths is her E. She can swing some matchups by interrupting a dash. Not a blink though like Ezreal, but like a Aurelia Q if she can time it right, which gives her an advantage. And then she can also spend some time in the jungle and wait for a good matchup and farm that if she needs extra time. And so yeah, most of the Squish champions give her a good time. The itemization for AP isn't that good, so most of the AP matchups should be pretty good. The hardest ones are the ones who can build defensively, still fairly defensively like Roa, and just have natural sustain like Ryze and Cassio. They still have great damage output, they might take exhaust, and they're fairly defensive. And so those matchups can be a little bit hard to deal with. But I think that covers it. Oh, I wanted to add one more thing. That skill is still the most important factor. Skill will swing in these matchups far more than 10%. So that's what you want to focus on. So please let me know if this was helpful, and thank you so much for watching.